This anteater knows it's being watched and is trying to scare off its audience. We're in the jungles of Belize, home to a rich variety of wildlife. A frog locked in a deadly battle with a snake. It doesn't stand a chance. Here in Chiquibul Forest, the name of the game is eat or be eaten. The 1,700 square kilometres of jungle is often called the jewel of Belize. It's a treasure that's protected by national park rangers. The men are armed because they have a dangerous job. We're not allowed to show their faces. Only their leader is willing to talk to us.
Yeah, I have been fired at. I've been in many cases where, I was patrolling with soldiers or with rangers, and people fire at us from in the jungle. Sometimes you see them, sometimes you don't. You come here to protect wildlife, and you encounter yourself in a situation that could be really dangerous. Yeah.
We're just 10 kilometres from Guatemala. The border runs through the middle of the jungle. Poachers from the neighbouring country, who are often armed, enter Belize illegally to plunder the forest. The intruders kill and steal local flora and fauna, pan for gold, and operate illegal marijuana plantations.
The idea is to see if there is any human activity on this track. Once we know that there is nobody here, then we don't really need to monitor this trail again.
Freshly chopped branches indicate that someone's been here recently. There are footprints too. They look deep, which suggests that whoever walked down this trail was carrying a heavy load, probably illegal pickings from the jungle. Today the rangers failed to track the culprit down. Crime in this natural paradise is a serious problem. A young Guatemalan boy was killed here in a recent shooting incident. A few weeks earlier, a policeman was shot at an ancient Mayan archaeological site. The government has invested heavily in protecting the forest, but it's clearly still not enough. Here at the Belize Zoo, visitors can admire the country's biodiversity at close quarters. The zoo houses indigenous animals only, among them the tapir, the national animal of Belize. There are jaguars here too, which otherwise live wild in the country's forests.
It fills you with pride, knowing that you have these beautiful creatures where you live.
Hannah St. Luce Martinez works in the Forest Management Division of the country's Environment Ministry, but she also works for BioFin, the Biodiversity Finance Initiative. This was set up to establish the cost of a biodiversity action plan for Belize.
Protecting them isn't cheap. We've never placed a price figure on protecting their habitat in the wild, and BioFin intends to do a cost analysis that will help us reach our biodiversity goals and targets.
Chiquibul Forest is a key region for the project. Today, Hannah's on the road, investigating the financial state of conservation projects already up and running. She's on her way to Las Cuevas, a research institute and a breeding station for parrots. Over a dozen scarlet macaws have been bred here. In the jungle, their nests are often plundered by poachers.
Nice.
Chico is one of their full-time keepers. He looks after the birds until they're released into the wild.
I take them like my kids, I will say it. Because I wake up so early to feed them. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. When it's time to release them, I am so sorry, but I feel so sad.
Las Cuevas is the first stop on Hannah's itinerary today. The project is run by Friends of Conservation and Development. Hannah's impressed.
In that porch there, you are sitting there.
It's a beautiful cage. Who built it?
Myself.
But the cage is only a stopgap solution. If the bird nests in the jungle were better protected, it wouldn't be necessary.
If we have the enough fawns, yes, we could try to keep it more in the wild. I know that it's very difficult to find the fawns, but it's not impossible to get, you know.
These scarlet macaws will soon be leaving their comfortable home. Then they'll have to look after themselves. Protecting wildlife in the Chiquibul forest makes not just environmental, but also economic sense.
Anything that occurs or affects our natural resources affects our economy because tourists are attracted to the green and the diverse biodiversity that we have as a country.
Next, Hannah pays a visit to the park rangers. She asks them about working conditions. Park manager Derek Chan says the team could really use a helicopter, arguing that it could save lives.
You know, a ranger would sometimes say, what if I die out here? You know, if you get a snake bite or a gunshot, you need to be extracted in an hour or two, and that is a concern.
It's obvious that lack of funding is a problem everywhere. What's not obvious is where more financing should come from.
We need to be very innovative as to how we identify where money has been coming from and where money will come from for biodiversity management.
The Chiquibul forest is only the start. 40% of Belize is a conservation area, and protecting it all is a costly business.